It's time for some diplomacy in Calgar Gym as the Franklin and Marshall Diplomats take on the Pomona-Pitzer Sage Hens. Sage Hens have dropped every game in this classic so far. They have yet to win a set. Dropped one to Trinity. They dropped the early matchup against Southwestern, and they dropped a match against MIT. All sweeps against them. Wanting to bounce back against the Diplomats of Franklin and Marshall, who netted a win over Whittier College in the opener for the Classic. Has had some tough luck against Trinity. And now they are looking to go back to Lancaster, Pennsylvania with a winning record. See the flag on your screen. Franklin and Marshall fans, some of them making the travel from Pennsylvania. And of course, a bit of a homecoming for one of the Franklin and Marshall players, Jada West from San Antonio, Texas. It is going to be an exciting one, to be sure. It's been a tough weekend for the SCIAC as Whittier and Pomona-Pitzer have combined for no wins so far. We'll see if their luck gets any better. Pomona-Pitzer. Or Franklin and Marshall will start things off serving. That is number 7, Leah Perez, sophomore setter out of Wellington, Florida. And we are underway in Calgar Gym once again, and an immediate over. Good serve for Perez. Benson couldn't get under it. The attack from the Diplomats is dug by the Sage Hens. Ball not falling just yet. Swing, and Bankowitz will get the kill for the Diplomats to start things off. Franklin and Marshall 1, Pomona-Pitzer 0. Perez to serve again. Meredith Mangum, the libero for Franklin and Marshall, making some good digs on that rally. And another difficult serve receive for Benson. But the Sage Hens put it in the perfect spot. 2 Diplomats diving to save that one. Neither of them could get to it. And Karina Benson, the freshman out of Savage, Minnesota, serves it up for Pomona-Pitzer. Off the hands a bit wonkily. And Pomona-Pitzer denies Gianna Mangiamelli as they have the 2-1 advantage now. Great block there. Benson with the next serve. Perez setting in the middle. But the Sage Hens cover. Paige Wilson will have a kill as that one goes off of Mangiamelli and over to the stat keeper's table. 3-1 Pomona-Pitzer advantage on a 3-0 scoring run. Benson's next serve. That one may have been out, but Coco Schultz wanted to play it. Paige Wilson with the tip. Perez there to cover. Mangum setting that one up for Mangiamelli. Sage Hens cover it though. And Paige Wilson denied by number 19 and number 16 for F&M, Melissa Bankowitz and Jada West. Bankowitz will head back to serve. She had a very good time behind the service line yesterday. First serve from Bankowitz, handled by Benson. Big swing, just barely out for Paige Montanos. Bankowitz will get another serve for herself. It is tied 3-3. 2 teams that don't get to play each other that often. Good serve. Put that down as an ace for Bankowitz. She had 6 in one match yesterday against Trinity. Looking to continue some good work today. Next serve from Bankowitz is another great one, almost an overpass. Another point for the Diplomats, 3-5. That is the score now. And Bankowitz will try to keep on rolling through. Next serve, another tough one. Wilson with the attack. 2 Diplomats trying to dive after that one. It'll be a free ball for the Sage Hens. Mies setting the middle. Kellen Hayes gets dug by Perez. Coco Schultz will force the over. That one set up for Mangiamelli. And another point for Franklin and Marshall. And another difficult start for the Sage Hens. Diplomats 2-1 against the Sage Hens in their history. They last played in 2018, where the Diplomats won 3-1 over in Claremont. The tip kept alive by the Diplomats. Coco Schultz, waterfall ball, another point for Franklin and Marshall. And an absolutely great start for Franklin and Marshall to start things off. 5-0 scoring run for the Diplomats. Bankowitz gets cut off by herself. 4-7 now. Double substitution for Pomona-Pitzer. Eleanor Nicholson and Samantha Grab entering the fray. Eleanor Nicholson back to serve, the senior from Portland, Oregon. Gives that one to Mangum. Perez keeps it on the Diplomats' side so that they can attack. Big swing from Samantha Grab will get the kill. Sage Hens down by 2. Entering this weekend, Franklin and Marshall were the #3 team in the nation in kills per set, having a little over 14 kills per set. Setting the middle, that one will be an attacking error, as Jada West is a bit errant on that one. 6-7, Sage Hens down by just 1 now. Next serve from Nicholson. Service error, so Franklin Marshall will get a free point and the ball back. As Jada West, the senior middle blocker out of San Antonio, Texas, will be back to serve for the Diplomats. And difficult one for Pomona-Pitzer. Make that a service ace for Jada West. Her parents are in the audience today. The first time they get to see their daughter play in a Franklin and Marshall uniform in person. Next serve from West. That one will be handed over to Hayes. West with the dig. Coco Schultz gets blocked. Diplomats unable to cover, so another block for the Sage Hens. Coco Schultz gets denied. Entering the game for the Sage Hens, Chloe Gill, as you see the block on that replay. The serve from Paige Wilson. Big swing from Gianna Mangiamelli. Some fire off of that one. 7-10. As Hannah McCarthy back to serve for the Diplomats, the senior out of Jacksonville, Florida. Another great serve, some good serves by the Diplomats so far. McCarthy over to Coco Schultz. Cross court shot. And the Diplomats getting the upper hand here. Great angle on that one. And the Sage Hens over to Grab. Samantha Grab will get the kill. Sage Hens down by 3. Back to serve for the Sage Hens, Kellen Hayes. McCarthy. That one is going to be blocked. The attack by Sydney Levin's not going through. She will downball it. Point for Pomona-Pitzer as that one was downballed out of bounds. Another serve for Hayes. Coco Schultz with the serve received there. McCarthy setting the middle, and the tip from Lauren Arnold. Senior middle blocker out of State College, Pennsylvania. Smart play there. Lauren Arnold, one of the captains for Franklin and Marshall. Another great serve, causing Benson to fall to her knees. The swing from Gill, dug by Bankowitz. And excellent, excellent placement there by Sydney Levins, catching that opposite corner. Can't do it much better than that. It is 9-13 now. Coco Schultz with the serve, handled well by Benson. And Diplomats can't cover the response. 10-13, both teams have reached double digits. Mies with the serve. Tough to handle, but a big response from the Diplomats. They're up by 4. Meredith Mangum, another captain for Franklin and Marshall, back to serve. And another great serve, forcing an overpass, and a bit of a misset from McCarthy. Levins did not expect it to go there. Chloe Gill serves it in the net, or spikes it in the net rather. 5-point lead for the Diplomats. Mangum once again. Overhead receive from Wilson. That one, it gets over. So a kill for Chloe Gill. That'll send back Hannah Chen, sophomore out of Chino Hills, California. Chen serve. Received by Schultz. The swing from Levins. Again, the Sage Hens respond. There'll be a free ball for the Diplomats. McCarthy sends it over to Bankowitz. And they are loving that deep cross-court shot. 11-16, the Diplomats are rolling in set 1. Double substitution for the Diplomats, number 7 and number 3. That is Leah Perez and Gianna Mangiamelli. Perez serving. The swing from Wilson, dug by Schultz. Mangiamelli, that one's off of a lot of Sage Hens, so free ball for the Diplomats. Swing from Bankowitz. That'll be a point for, I believe. Oh no, they're gonna call a replay on that one. So wipe that one off the board. I think Franklin and Marshall wanted a Sage Hen in the net. That may have been the original call, but up judge calling a replay for this one. And difficult serve. Free ball for the Diplomats. Setting the middle. And another kill for the Diplomats. Jada West. Timeout called by Pomona-Pitzer, as the Diplomats are doing very, very well. Head coach for the Diplomats, Mary Kate Salco, in her 21st season with the Diplomats. Well, for Pomona-Pitzer, Valerie Townsend, 24th season with Pomona-Pitzer. So two long-time coaches duking it off between each other. It'll be interesting to see the strategizing that goes into this one. And the Diplomats having an advantage in that hitting percentage category. And pretty much every category. Pomona-Pitzer has some more digs, and the Diplomats have one more error. For some individual stats, Samantha Grab hitting perfect 1,000 right now, 3 kills on 3 total attempts. Diplomats break their huddle. Pomona-Pitzer have some dangerous outsides and middles that they can go to, but right now, Franklin and Marshall outplaying them in this first set. Perez will still be serving for the Diplomats as we come out of this timeout. Franklin and Marshall out of the Centennial Conference, while the Sachems out of the SCIAC. Swing from Wilson, dug by Schultz. Benkowitz, one touch off the block. That one's passed up for Wilson, who's going to get the kill, almost sending it to the second story off of that first touch. 12-17. Pomona still down by 5. They got some digging to do. Karina Benson. That one received by Benkowitz. Setting the middle, hitting the line judge. So that one will be a point for Pomona-Pitzer. The swing from Mangiamelli. A strong one, but needs a bit more accuracy. Mangum hits one up for Mangiamelli. The tip is pushed back. Benkowitz is dug. A lot of Sachems going after that one. Perez with the dump. And a perfect dump by Leah Perez. 13-18. Sachems caught off guard. Perfect placement. Big hole in the middle of the Sachem court. That's Melissa Benkowitz, first year out of Chapel Hill, with the serve. Off the net, so 3 point for Pomona as they get the ball back. Eleanor Nicholson and Samantha Grab re-entering the game for the Sage Hens. Eleanor Nicholson back to serve. That one off of Jada West, so make that a service ace for Eleanor Nicholson. And Pomona creeping their way back into this one. They're only down by 3. And with the serve receive, Perez over to Mangiamelli, gets dug, but it's an overpass. Mangiamelli again, another strong swing, grab, gets dug by Perez. The tip from Mangiamelli is covered by the Sage Hens. Wilson, one touch off the block, point for Pomona-Pitzer as they're going to call a Diplomat in the net. And I believe they called Mangiamelli in the net. So another serve for the Sage Hens. And nearly an ace. But good on the Diplomats to keep that one alive. Sharp swing. Point for the Diplomats there. As, yeah, Sage Hen touched the net. Jada West back to serve. Nicholson going over to Kellen Hayes, and oh man, Big swing from Hayes. Super aggressive. Chloe Gill entering the court again for the Sage Hens. While Bella Ganfield entering the game for the Diplomats. That's number 5, junior defensive specialist out of Garnet Valley, Pennsylvania. Wilson served that one and will have an ace perfectly placed in front of Mangum. Tried to dive to receive it. So Pomona-Pitzer only behind by 1. That'll be a timeout called by Coach Salco. And Franklin and Marshall. That hitting percentage much more even now. 11 kills for the Diplomats in this set. But very even otherwise. A couple more digs for the Sage Hens. For the Diplomats, this is their last game in the Classic. They will be flying home after this. Trying to end it off on a good note, leave San Antonio with a 2-1 record. Well, for Pomona-Pitzer, this is their last game as well, so they'll be flying back to Claremont after this. Looking to get a win on the board, because they are 0-3 right now. Last year, the Sage Hens went 17-9. Season ended in the SCIAC championship game against Claremont Mudscripts. Their street-sharing rivals. While for the Diplomats, they lost in the Centennial Conference championship game to Johns Hopkins, 1-3. They ended their season with an 18-9 record last year. So 2 very evenly matched teams. Wilson gets us out of the timeout. Swing from Mangiamelli, dug by Wilson. Big swing from Grab. And no Diplomat came over to cover that one. So 19-19, we are tied up once again. And that was a very strong swing from Samantha Grab. Another serve from Wilson. Good receive by Mangum. Coco Schultz puts that one down. So point for Franklin and Marshall. Maybe the Sage Hens didn't see where that ball went. Number 2 and number 9 in for the Diplomats. Hannah McCarthy who's back to serve, and Sydney Levens will serve as an outside. Another difficult serve. And a great dig by Mangum, but no one there to cover. Hannah McCarthy was rushing her way over there, but it is 20-20 now. As Kellen Hayes will serve for the Sage Hens, the junior out of Boise, Idaho. Will have herself an ace as some tough serve receives there. It is 21-20. Pomona-Pitzer in the lead. For I believe what may be the first time this set. Schultz with the dig. The swing from Levens. Doesn't hit the floor just yet. Gill gets blocked. It'll be a down ball. Easily taken down by Lauren Arnold there. See if that hit her. Yeah, just a little bit. Coco Schultz. Big serve. Ends up out, service error, so 22-21. Pomona-Pitzer leading. That'll send it back. Kylie Mees, junior out of Palo Alto, California, has given some other teams trouble with her serves. That one tame though. Setting the middle, and the Sage Hens can't get it back over, so Lauren Arnold causing the Pomona-Pitzer defense to scramble as that one pinballed off of a couple Sage Hens. They couldn't get back over the net. 22-22. Meredith Mangum serving for the Diplomats. Mies over to Gill with the tip, covered by McCarthy. Mangum passing that one up for Benkowitz. And another cross-court kill for Benkowitz. 22-23. I'm not sure Benkowitz has hit it down the seam at all this game. Timeout called by Pomona-Pitzer. Coach Townsend wanting to talk this one over with her group. Looking at the stats once again. Franklin and Marshall almost reaching their quota, 4 kills, 14. Add one more and they'll be over their kills per set average. 3 aces from both sides. We've seen some really good serves from both the Sagehens and the Diplomats. And the Sagehens are going to break their huddle very quickly. They head back out onto the court. You see on your screen the Diplomat huddle. You see Coach Salko talking to her group. And you've got some Franklin and Marshall fans with the flag, dancing along with the music. Diplomats back out on the court. Meredith Mangum back to serve. 3 receiver look for the Sagehens. Serve from Mangum. That one received. Well, Mies over to Montanos. Gets dug though. Down ball by Schultz. The swing from Gill is a tip. Covered by the Diplomats. Benkowitz off the block, and it hits the floor. Game point, Franklin and Marshall. Not what you want out of the timeout if you're the Sagehens there. Mangum looking to finish off the Sagehens here in set 1. Benson gives the Sagehens a chance. That one is blocked. Montanos again off of one blocker. McCarthy back set over to Levens. Grand receive by Mies. Swing from Gill. And 2 Diplomats running into each other. Benkowitz blocked. But the ball is still, hasn't hit the ground yet. Another Benkowitz attack gets nothing. McCarthy with the dig there. Swing from Levens, and that hits a Sagehen. That'll be set 1 for Franklin and Marshall. 25-22. It's a quick decision. Not sure if that one was heading in or out. Tried to get the platform up, but just couldn't do it quite in time. So Franklin and Marshall will have set 1 for themselves as we switch sides in San Antonio. Advantage for the Diplomats in now nearly every category but digs and errors. We'll take a break on the Tiger Network as both these teams get prepared for set 2. And we are almost underway with set 2 in San Antonio. San Antonio getting a cool front as of late. It's about 90 degrees outside right now, so not 100 degrees like it's been for the past, it feels like, month at this point. But the Diplomats and Sagehens are re-entering the court for set 2. We will wait for our liberos to get back into it. Both teams with 2 blocks. It's been a lot and a lot of balls hitting the ground, especially for Franklin and Marshall. They are just so effective at it. One of the best in the nation at doing it. And it's all thanks to their great setters as well. Mangum and Benson are back on the court. It'll be Hannah Chen to start things off, serving-wise for the Sagehens. And the up judge gives his go-ahead. And we are underway in set 2. And a great start for Pomona-Pitzer, as that is a service ace for Hannah Chen. Chen once again. That one handled much better by the Diplomats. That one hits a blocker. Setting the middle. That'll be a kill for Charlotte Sakirka. New face in for the Sagehens. So 2-0, Pomona-Pitzer leading. Nice serve receive. Perez hits that one up for Mangiamelli. Diving dig by Benson. Mies can't get it to somebody. So point for Franklin and Marshall. Melissa Bankowitz back to serve. Already 2 service aces for her in this match. That's a tough one. Attack able to get off. Swing from Schultz is just a bit out. So 3-1 Pomona-Pitzer advantage. That was interesting. Replay. And point for Pomona-Pitzer on the antenna violation. (4-1). Hannah Chen cuts. Not Hannah Chen. Karina Benson cutting herself off with the service error. So ball back in Franklin and Marshall's court. Jada West with the serve. Mies over to Montanos. Gets dug. That one hits off a blocker. Mies setting the middle. Kellen Hayes is dug. And the Franklin and Marshall bench freaking out over that one. That was Jada West with the dig there. But Montanos will end it by pushing that one down. 5-3, Pomona lead. Double substitution both ways. Eleanor Nicholson and Samantha Grab entering for Pomona-Pitzer. As it is Eleanor Nicholson that will be serving. Perez over to Mangiamelli. Cross-court shot, too sharp of an angle. It lands out, so Pomona-Pitzer with the 4-point advantage early on in set 2. Nicholson once again. Schultz gets dug. Wilson tipping it over. Donuts cover. Mangiamelli. That one's off of the platform of Chen. Still a point for Franklin and Marshall. Double sub for F&M. Number 2 and number 9, Hannah McCarthy and Sydney Levens, re-entering the court together. With Hannah McCarthy back to serve. Over to Wilson. Waterfall ball, but it is kept alive. Schultz with the tip, but it is sent back over to the Diplomat side. And the tip for Schultz. Sachens keep it alive. Wilson tips it over. McCarthy over to Levens. There'll be a free ball for the Diplomats. McCarthy over to Schultz. Big swing, barely out. So Pomona-Pitzer. And no, they are going to overturn that one. They will say Seichen touched. So point for Franklin and Marshall. Anna McCarthy back to serve. That one is an overpass, but the Seichens keep it alive. McCarthy setting in the middle. Levens pushing it far. Seichens cover though. Big swing from Wilson, dug by Mangum. Schultz gets dug. Hayes is blocked. They'll try it with grab. One touch off the block. McCarthy over to Levens, who's going to end up with the kill as two Seichens couldn't get it to a good place. Diplomats down by 1. Anna McCarthy. Long serve, too long in fact. Point for Pomona-Pitzer. 7-5 with number 7 serving, Paige Wilson, the senior out of Mill Creek, Washington. That one received by Schultz. The tip over, and another kill for Lauren Arnold. As Coco Schultz will go back to serve. Meredith Mangum exits the court for Melissa Bankowitz to re-enter. Diplomats only down by 1. And setting the middle, Kellen Hayes. Quick kill for Pomona-Pitzer. They have a 2-point advantage. Kellen Hayes serving it now. McCarthy setting from her knees. Bankowitz with a big swing. But it is a bit too big. Pomona-Pitzer leading by 3. Serve from Hayes. McCarthy back set. That'll be a kill for Levens, tooling it off the block. So 9-7 now. Pomona-Pitzer leading. With Mangum back in the game, along with Jada West. Mangum to serve. Whittier College Poets in the stands watching this one. And point for Franklin and Marshall as Pomona-Pitzer commits the double violation. Mangum back to serve again. Franklin and Marshall only down by 1. Nixon sets the middle. Takurka is dug. Seichens can't cover that one, so we are tied up once again, 9-9 here in set 2. Who goes Mangiamelli. Credited with the kill there. Another serve for Mangum. And a tough one to get. Mangum digs. And Bankowitz cross-court shot is out. So 10-9. Now Sydney Levens on the last point, by the way. And an error for Mies. 10-10, these teams trading points. Now Mangiamelli's back on the court. Perez going back to serve as she re-enters. And that's a tough one. Make that an ace for Perez. The serve receive going errant. Perez will tie her shoe, always important. And we're back in it now. Perez's next serve. And that one's gonna be an over. Man, incredible defense by the Sagehens to keep that one alive. Big swing from Mangiamelli. Next Diplomat attack. Swing by Benkowitz is blocked. Perez, back row attack in the net. Coco Schultz can't get it over. So 11-11, we are still trading points back and forth. Hannah Chen will be back to serve for the Sagehens. As it has been tough on both sides. Perez keeping it on the Diplomat side. Wilson, one touch off the block, taking some of the velocity off of it. Schultz just pushing that one over. Benson setting that one up for grab. Grab gets dug, however. Free ball for the Sagehens. Swing from Wilson. Oh man. Sam Mangum flying across the court. So a kill for Paige Wilson as Pomona-Pitzer find themselves up 12-11. The next serve by Chen. Perez setting that for the middle. Mangiamelli. Owen is sent back to the Diplomats though. Benkowitz with the tap over. And that one in the net. Too many touches for the Sagehens. 12-12 now. And Melissa Benkowitz like to take the serve. Mies setting Sakirka, denied by the Diplomats. That was Jada West there to stop that one. Now along with Coco Schultz. Another team able to get out to a multi-point lead right now. Another great serve. And another point for Franklin and Marshall. Announcer's curse 1, announcer 0. As now Franklin and Marshall off to a multi-point lead with 2. Another great serve, almost another over. The tip over, Diplomats send it back. But a point for Pomona-Pitzer as that one ended up out of bounds. Karina Benson in that libero jersey serves that one. And that one will just be pushed over. Next station attack. The tip by Montanos goes nowhere. Schultz with a big swing, but one touch off the block. The tip by Hayes. Point for Franklin and Marshall as that one ends up out of bounds. And we're going back and forth and back and forth here in this second set. Jada West, senior out of San Antonio, with the serve. And an ace for Jada West. Serve receive went into the net. Timeout called by Pomona-Pitzer. Coach Townsend wanting to talk this one over as Franklin Marshall leading it by 3. couple more errors for Franklin and Marshall, but they're just putting the ball on the floor. 24 kills compared to 16 for Pomona-Pitzer. And Lauren Arnold for Franklin and Marshall still hitting a perfect 1,000, 4 kills on 4 total attempts. Sydney Levens with a 286 hitting percentage, 5 kills, 1 error on 14 attempts. Over on the Pomona-Pitzer side of things, Samantha Grab hitting 429, 4 kills, 1 error on 7 attempts. And Charlotte Sakurka hitting 400, 3 kills, and 1 error on 5 total attempts. The favorite targets, Brianna Mangiamelli for Franklin Marshall is hitting 0 right now, 4 kills, 4 errors, and 22 total attempts, while Paige Wilson rather, 4 kills, 1 error, 15 total attempts. That's good for a 200 hitting percentage. Diplomats back out on the court. Sage Hens back out on the court. We are going to be out of this timeout. Jada West still serving for the Diplomats. And another good serve. Wilson, one touch off the block. Big swing from Mangiamelli. Hannah Chan can't handle that one. 13-17. Not what you want if you're the Sage Hens. And Chen with the serve receive there. Montanos giving a good one, so forcing a down ball. Big swing from Wilson. Cross-court shot is out. 13-18. Diplomats on a 4-0 scoring run right now. Another serve from West, very close to the net. Wilson, dug by Mangum. And the swing from Arnold gets dug. Tooled off the block, Paige Wilson will get a kill. 14-18. Marshall still leading. And on Nicholson, Samantha Grab back on the court. Nicholson back to serve. And Bella Ganfield re-entering for the Diplomats. Good serve receive for the Diplomats. Coco Schultz tools it off the block. So 19-14 rather. Diplomat advantage. Looks like we are going to be wiping the floor a little bit. As multiple players checking that spot to make sure it's okay. Sydney Levens re-entering with Hannah McCarthy for the Diplomats. McCarthy back to serve. 1 point away from 20 are the Diplomats. And a serve receive very close to the net. Doesn't matter though, as Kellen Hayes will have another kill for herself. Great set, very tough having the pass be that close to the net. Paige Wilson to serve for Pomona-Pitzer. And good to make an attack on it, but that one was way out. Pomona-Pitzer down by 3. Wilson once again to serve. And, oh man, McCarthy running into the judge's stand. Judge almost took a tumble. Timeout called by Franklin and Marshall there, as the judge will step down and adjust the stand a little bit. Got to be careful. So you see on the screen right now the stats for the match. 173 hitting percentage compared to 134. Franklin and Marshall having the advantage in the kills category. But that may be to be expected as they lead the nation in kills per set. Pomona-Pitzer on a 3-0 scoring run right now, though. So Coach Salko wanting to cut off any further momentum that the Sage Hens may have. Timeouts are a good momentum killer in volleyball. 15 seconds left in this timeout. Franklin and Marshall faithful still getting excited for their Diplomats. Diplomats back on the court. Sage Hens back on the court. Paige Wilson serves us out of the timeout. McCarthy all the way to Levens is denied by the Sage Hens. See it there. Con Hayes and Samantha grab. Not allowing that attack through. Pomona only down by 1. 4-0 scoring run now. McCarthy setting the middle and touch off the block. Swing from Gill. No Diplomat touched that one, and it goes out 18-20. So Diplomat's only 5 away with Coco Schultz going behind the service line. Melissa Benkowitz re-entering the game as Meredith Mangum. The libero heading back to the bench. The swing from Coco Schultz, very good one. But Pomona-Pitzer responds very well. They're only down by 1, 19-20. That's Kellen Hayes once again. That's doing a fantastic job. And Hayes will serve off the top of the net. And Sage Hens block that one. Free ball for the Sage Hens now. Nicholson going to grab. And Diplomats very close to each other. It is 20-20 now. Yeah, both Schultz and McCarthy trying to dig that one. Another serve for Hayes. McCarthy over to Benkowitz. But the Sage Hens get to respond. It's going to be a double called on the Sage Hens. So 21-20. Meredith Mangum back into the game, along with Jada West. Mangum back to serve. And a good serve receive by Paige Wilson. Chloe Gill, overhead receive from Schultz. And that one will stay in. Melissa Benkowitz, precise shot from her. Great job. Timeout called by Pomona-Pitzer. You see the Franklin and Marshall huddle. They're up by 2. Timeout being called because when you're both in the 20s, letting your opponent get too much momentum would be disastrous. 5 aces for both sides. Pomona-Pitzer now in the 20 digits in kills. Similar hitting percentages, but overall, plenty of errors being committed by both sides. Because of this good defense, those blockers causing good hitters to swing out or assist for the Diplomats. 3 blocks for both teams as we are going to end this timeout early. Mangum behind the service line for the Diplomats. Buzzer sounds, we are back into it. received by Gill, who will also take an attack. Jada West, Sydney Levens, 9 and 19, stopping that one. (2023) Diplomats advantage. Ooh, a difficult set. Gill with the down ball. And a difficult set here as well, as McCarthy almost ends up on the Pomona-Pitzer side. Another point for the Diplomats. I think that one went more in the net, but game point either way in set 2. Franklin and Marshall. And Meredith Mangum, some deja vu. And over to grab, blocked by the Diplomats. Gill, big arcing shot, setting the middle, and waterfall ball. Jada West capping off set 2 with a kill for herself. 25-20 the final score in this second set. Franklin and Marshall having 2 sets over Pomona-Pitzer. And Pomona-Pitzer hasn't won a set this weekend, trying to get at least one. And you can see the Diplomats having the advantage pretty much every category, except for, I suppose you can call errors, even though they're pretty much tied. Diplomats have one more. We'll take a break on the Tiger Network as we head to the third set. Pomona-Pitzer down 2-0. Stay tuned to see if they can come back. And we're in Home Depot apparently as we get started off with set 3. And we are waiting for our defensive specialist to re-enter the game. Whoever has the aux cable is entering wacky territory. for Mangum to re-enter. Now she's back. Franklin and Marshall doing one last little huddle before breaking apart. Monumental task for Pomona-Pitzer. Being down by 2 sets. They've kept it close in the first 2. Leah Perez serves us out into the 3rd set. Big swing. So point 1 going to Pomona. I'll leave Karina Benson. They're gonna mop up the floor a little bit before Benson serves. Got some sweat on the floor because they are playing very hard. Benson gets the go-ahead. Perez setting the middle, Mangiamelli. That one gets dug by the Sage Hens. One touch off the block. Free ball for the Sage Hens. Good cover by Perez. Big swing from Wilson. In the corner, Pomona-Pitzer is up 2-0 early on here in set 3. Benson. Good serve receive by Coco Schultz. Mangiamelli hits that one out. So Pomona-Pitzer up by 3. Here goes Benson once again. Perez setting the middle, Jada West. Gets dug, however. Another kill for Pomona-Pitzer. They're up by 4. Great start for the Sage Hens. As well as Montanos there with the kill. And down ball. And another kill for Pomona-Pitzer. Paige Montanos once again, the 6'2" sophomore out of San Mateo, California. Benson again, and over. And Franklin and Marshall all out of sorts. The tip covered by Pomona-Pitzer. Swing from Wilson. That one gets put down. Diplomats on the board. But not after a 5-0 start for the Sage Hens. Allison Melissa Bankowitz. Just serve for Franklin and Marshall. And Wilson attacking from very far back. Coco Schultz, big swing and a kill. So 5-2. Pomona-Pitzer still leading. Good kill there. Bankowitz once again. And difficult situation for the Sage Hens, but that one goes through the hands of a Diplomat. So 6-2. Pomona-Pitzer leading Eleanor Nicholson. Serves that one. Schultz down ball. Almost getting a kill there. Wilson, big swing. Perez over to Schultz. And point for Pomona-Pitzer. Saying that one did not hit a blocker. Next swing from Nicholson. Setting the middle, Jada West is gonna get a kill. 7-3 now. Back to serve for Franklin and Marshall. Jada West. Benson over to Wilson. Dug by West off of the one touch. Paige Wilson taking a softer approach, but Diplomats cover it all the same. Cross-court shot from Schultz gets dug. And blocked by the Diplomats was Samantha Grab. And through the hands of Perez, 8-3. Pomona-Pitzer off to a big lead. Of course, Pomona-Pitzer needs to win 3 sets in a row to take this match. They have to start somewhere. Paige Wilson, the long serve. Perez setting the middle. Arnold can't put it down. Sakurka gets dug. And another big swing. That'll be an over. Perez over to Schultz. Gets blocked by the Sage Hens. Or no, hit that one into the net. That is 9-3. Pomona-Pitzer leading. Take a quick break on the Tiger Network as we get through this timeout. We're back. Don't tune out just yet as Pomona-Pitzer is off to a 6-point lead as Wilson serves us out of the timeout. Tooled off the block out. Point for the Diplomats. They're still down by 5. They have quite a hole to dig out of. Good block there. Hannah McCarthy, senior out of Jacksonville, Florida, to serve for the Diplomats. And was that in? It was. Pomona-Pitzer hits 10. Trying to extend the game. There's Pomona-Pitzer. They got to win set 3 and 4. McCarthy over to Levens. It gets dug. The swing from Grab. Tool off the block. Point for Pomona-Pitzer. They are up 11-4, looking very dominant in this third set. Kellen Hayes back to serve. And the swing from Levens gets dug. Well, that swing from Anna Krebs, number 13, in the net, so point for the Diplomats. Number 13, Anna Krebs, and number 23, Charlotte Sakurka, on the court for the Sage Hens. Coco Schultz, good serve, very close to the net. No assistance needed there for Sydney Levens. It is 11-6 right now. Another serve for Schultz. That one will be an error, so Pomona has doubled up on the Diplomats. lead at 12-6. Back to serve is Kylie Mees for the Sage Hens. Good serve. McCarthy having to squat to set that one. But leave it to Lauren Arnold to put that one away. Meredith Mangum trying to help the Diplomats dig out of this hole. Overhead receive. Big swing, waterfall ball. Another point for Pomona-Pitzer. Entering the game now. Or entering the game. New server. Emily Bunnell. Quick serve. McCarthy setting the middle. West gets blocked. McCarthy over to Bankowitz. Bunnell digs it. Wilson, big swing. Schultz with the dig there. That one pushed back to the Diplomat side. Bankowitz gets the kill. Pomona 13, Franklin and Marshall 8. Still a lot to work to do. Still a lot of work to do. Leah Perez and Gianna Mangiamelli re-enter the game. Serve from Perez. Wilson with the tip over. Perez covers. Swing from Berkowitz. Not landing. And another kill for Pomona-Pitzer, as they are not allowing Franklin and Marshall to come back at all. Lauren Arnold again. Karina Benson with the serve. Too far, so back to Franklin and Marshall. Does the ball go? Melissa Bankowitz back to serve, the first year out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. That one handled well by the Sage Hens. Big swing into the net. That was Paige Montanos. Couldn't get that one. That was Montanos who got the last Sage Hen point. Bankowitz, another good serve. Wilson, and will the Diplomats get it over? They will. Cross-court shot from Wilson is out. 14-11, Franklin Marshall negotiating their way back into this one. As Melissa Bankowitz still serving. Waiting for a moment now. Here we go, Bankowitz. What a serve from Bankowitz. Beautiful ace. You could not write that one up better. 14-12. And Hayes wanting to wipe down a spot on the floor. That was an amazing ace. Bankowitz has had several. That is her third for this match. She had 6 in one match yesterday. And here goes Bankowitz once again. Another difficult serve. Pocket aces for Bankowitz. Franklin and Marshall only 1 point down now. She gave trouble to MIT. Another short serve attempt, but that one does not get over the net. Point for Pomona-Pitzer. Number 8, number 15 back on the court for Pomona-Pitzer. That's Eleanor Nicholson and Samantha Grab, respectively. Good serve. Sent over to Coco Schultz. Denied by the Sagehands. Kellen Hayes, Samantha Grab stopping that one. Pomona up by 3 once again. Next serve from Nicholson. Poked it by Bankowitz. And another block by the Sagehands. That was an interesting set attempt. Maybe that was just an attempted down ball cross court. But Pomona-Pitzer up by 4. Another Nicholson serve. The tip this time. Wilson, big swing. Another point for Pomona-Pitzer. Puts them up by 5. Timeout called by the Diplomats. Coach Salko wanting to talk things out. Pomona-Pitzer on a 4-0 scoring run right now. I'll read the stats out. Similar hitting percentage. Similar everything once again, as Pomona-Pitzer is pulling away in this third set, almost getting out of hand. Franklin and Marshall having to string some points together yet again. They came back from down 6, and now they are down by 5 once again. The Franklin and Marshall faithful not deterred, however. We've got some poets dancing over in the Trinity student section. Diplomats are going to break their huddle. Sagehands are going to follow close after, as we have 5 seconds left in this timeout. And we're back. Nicholson just giving some really good serves. Perez over to Mangiamelli. And Franklin Marshall back on the board. 18-14. Franklin and Marshall have to dig once again. Data West back to serve. Very tame. Wilson, one touch off the block. Perez setting the middle, and that will be a kill for Lauren Arnold. So 18-15 now. Data West to serve again. 2 service aces on the day. Won't get another one here. Good dig. Coco Schultz. Cross-court shot dug by Benson. And a block by the Diplomats. Will net them a point. 18-16 now. So Franklin and Marshall only 2 away from tying this one. Another serve by West. Want to pass a bit close to the net. Kellen Hayes, dug by Perez. That one hit up for Mangiamelli. Benson hits that one up for Wilson. That one gets down, 19-16. Paige Wilson with a kill there. Wilson will head back to serve as Anna Krebs re-enters the game. Ooh, that pass close to the net. Free ball for the Sagehens. And tapped over. Mangum, swing for Mangiamelli. That one's in, 19-17. Franklin and Marshall not falling behind just yet. Hannah McCarthy back in with Sydney Levens. McCarthy back to serve. And that serve is up, and it's going to be a difficult one for the Sagens. Can they get it over? Free ball for the Diplomats. Good defense. And an immediate block. Samantha grab, and Kellen Hayes denying that attack. As the Sagens hit the 20-point marker before the Diplomats. Kellen Hayes to serve. Good hustle. And Kellen Hayes with the service ace. 21-17, Pomona-Pitzer in the lead. Hayes getting the okay to serve. And there it goes. And the center dump, McCarthy worked like a charm. Franklin Marshall still down by a field goal, 21-18. Perfect placement of the setter dump there. Perfect timing too. Maybe the first setter dump we've seen from McCarthy, this set at least. Coco Schultz with the tough serve. And Anna Krebs just pushing that one over. Set over to Bankowitz, easily dug by Benson. That one is hit up for a back row attack by Schultz, and that one will be a kill for Coco Schultz. Rolling off the platform of a Sage Hen. Diplomats down by 2. Timeout called by Pomona-Pitzer, trying to cut off the momentum of Franklin and Marshall. Gangnam Style starts to play in the gym. Looking at some player stats, Kellen Hayes hitting .308, 5 kills, 1 error on 13 total attempts. Charlotte Sakirka hitting .429, 4 kills on 7 attempts. Paige Wilson, the favorite target for Pomona-Pitzer, 9 kills, 4 errors on 33 attempts. That's good enough for 152. For the Diplomats, a lot of the players getting a lot of targets. Not very high hitting percentages. 8 kills for both Mangiamelli and Coco Schultz, but Mangiamelli is hitting only 59, and Schultz is hitting 0. So having to clean up some of the errors, as it's been an error-full game. But Coco Schultz can make up for some of those errors by giving another good serve here. 21-19. Coco Schultz will serve us out of this timeout. Handled well by the Sage Hens. Krebs steals it off the block. 22-19. Pomona-Pitzer getting the point out of the timeout immediately. Kylie Mees and Paige Montanos back on the court for the Sage Hens. Sage Hens next serve from Mees. And Sydney Levens is blocked, and the Diplomats can't respond. Pomona-Pitzer 23, Franklin and Marshall 19. To serve once again, Franklin and Marshall. The situation looking very bleak, but that surface error will give them maybe some hope as they will hit the 20-point marker, 23-20. Meredith Mangum back to serve. Pomona-Pitzer looking to win their first set of the weekend here in their last game in San Antonio. And these sets, Montanos gets dug, the tip over, not in a good location, and a kill for Pomona-Pitzer, game point for them, 24-20. They are getting hyped up. Setting that middle there. Back to serve, number 14, Emily Bunnell. McCarthy over to Bankowitz, and that one Hits off of one of the basketball hoops. Point for the Diplomats. Too many touches by the Sage Hens. 24-21. Still game point. Diplomats can't make any mistakes. Perez back to serve. The serve from Perez. That one is hit up. It's going to be a free ball for the Diplomats. Not passed very well by the Sage Hens. Big swing, but the Sage Hens will be able to respond, pushing that one over. Bankowitz, big swing. That one is in. So 24-22. Timeout called by Pomona-Pitzer. Coach Townsend wanting to stop any more Diplomat momentum. Not much has changed about the stats. Pomona-Pitzer 1 away from getting 25. And Franklin Marshall will have to win this one in with some extra points if they want to sweep. Pomona-Pitzer has played very well in this third set, however. This is the best they have looked all weekend. Both coaches talking with their respective teams. You can see that Franklin and Marshall fan with the flag. Sage Hens out of their huddle. Diplomats out of theirs, and the timeout a bit early. Still, Perez cannot make any mistakes, or else Pomona-Pitzer will take set 3 and force a set 4. Franklin and Marshall still walking a tightrope act. Mies. And that one dug by Mangum. Coco Schultz with a good swing. That one hit up for Wilson. That one off a blocker. Diplomats keep it alive. Free ball for the Sage Hens. Mies over to the other side, and Pomona-Pitzer will win set 3. We are going to a set 4. We will switch sides and take a break on Tiger Network as we get ready for set 4. We're back for set 4 in CalGuard Gym. Pomona-Pitzer taking that third set, 22-25. See if they can take this one, 25-20, match the Diplomats set wins. But they still have to win 2 sets in a row to make the comeback. Similar looks for both sides. As we wait for our liberos to enter the match. Mangum's already in. We're just waiting for Benson. It's a race against time. What will happen first? Will the Sage Hens win the set? Will the Diplomats win the match? Or will my laptop die before either of that happens? Find out on the Tiger Network. Emily Bunnell to start things off serving-wise. Good serve. Benson with the dig there off of the one-touch. Paige Wilson, big swing. For Meredith Mangum there to collect. Benson hitting that one up for Paige Montanos, who hits that one out. So Franklin and Marshall strike first. And the Diplomats starting with Bankowitz. Tame serve. That one tipped over. Point for Pomona-Pitzer. 1-1. Trying to get the pancake under the ball. But Karina Benson serves it for the Sage Hens. Perez, back set, and Yana Mangamelia denied by Pomona-Pitzer. Who have all the momentum in this match currently. That pass close to the net. Jada West from the middle, swinging that one hit off the top of the net. We're giving that one a weird enough trajectory to get the point. Speaking of Jada West, she will be serving as we wipe the floor off just a bit more. West serves it into the net, service error. Pomona-Pitzer gets a point and the ball back. And substitution for both sides. Eleanor Nicholson and Samantha Grab in for the Sage Hens. Bella Ganfield in for the Diplomats. Nicholson back to serve. Serve received by Coco Schultz, who will also take the attack. Blocked by the Sage Hens. Schultz once again pushing that one over. Grab trying to get it in a good spot. Diplomats cover it. Schultz denied. Kellen Hayes, Samantha Grab there to end any aspiration of a diplomatic strike back. Another Nicholson serve. This one will be tough for the Diplomats. Free ball for the Sage Hens. Back set to Grab. Dug by Perez. That one set by Mangum. And that will be a kill for the Diplomats. So 4-3 now. Double sub for Franklin and Marshall. Hannah McCarthy and Sydney Levins. Good serve receive by the Sage Hens. And they will get the point. So that one went off a blocker and tooled out of bounds. So Paige Wilson back to serve. Good serve receive. McCarthy quickly setting Arnold. Can't get it down. Another point for Pomona-Pitzer as they are off to the races once again. They are up 6-3. Paige Wilson once again. That one up, and a swing from Levins is out. So point for Pomona-Pitzer, 7-3, and another error to add on to the pile of errors for both sides. 23 errors for the Diplomats, 18 for Pomona-Pitzer in this match. Mangum falling down to receive that one. Coco Schultz tools it off the block, point for Franklin and Marshall. And the judges calling off the antenna violation there. Coach Townsend wanting a brief explanation. Seemingly satisfied with it. Coco Schultz back to serve. And that one very close to the net. The swing there from Anna Krebs gets dug. Block by Pomona-Pitzer. Lauren Arnold tips that one over. Down ball. Sent over by Hayes. And the tip from Bankowitz, covered by Pomona-Pitzer. Oh man, just an absolutely destructive swing from Samantha Grab, the freshman out of Solana Beach, California. Oh man, not many can get to that one. Charlotte Sakirka back in for Pomona-Pitzer as Colin Hayes serves that one. And make that an ace for Kellen Hayes, as that one is up and over the net, out of bounds. Timeout called by Franklin and Marshall. Easy to see why. They are down by 5 early on in set 4. Pomona-Pitzer carrying over the momentum they gained from winning set 3. So Coach Salko talking things over with the Diplomats. A lot to be happy about in these 2 recent sets. If you are Pomona-Pitzer, this game has been very close for both sides. It's anyone's game right now. Franklin Marshall having the 2-1 advantage. Pomona-Pitzer trying to do the very difficult reversal of fortune and win this one 3-2. We'll see if a reverse sweep is on the menu today, as the Sachens are back out on the court. Diplomats about to break their huddle. And here we go. And Hayes with the serve. Ooh, high serve receive for Mangum. Swing from Bankowitz, collected by Hayes. And not the best set, too close to the net, point for the Diplomats. Karina Benson re-enters the game. Yeah, you can see that one right there, just pushed down. Can't set it that close to the net. Meredith Mangum back to serve. At a Peachtree Corners, Georgia. And who's getting that one? And too much bureaucracy over on the Diplomat side, as that one will fall for the Pomona-Pitzer point. Kylie Mees will tie her shoe before she serves, as we are wiping down the floor once again. And we are back in action. The serve from Mees, a difficult one. And that one sent back over to the Diplomat side. Pomona-Pitzer up 11-5. Looking really good right now. looking to run away with this fourth set and send it into that lightning round, set 5. Over to Bankowitz, 1 touch off the block. Mies over to Kreb, can't get it down. Good eyes by the Sage Hens though. It is 12-5 now. As this one is starting to get out of hand early on. Ooh, difficult. Make that an ace for Mies. Hannah McCarthy rushing over to try and put that one up. But that one was just not in a good position. And a bit more defense perhaps for Franklin and Marshall as McKenna Penuel, the senior out of Taylor's, South Carolina, who immediately puts up a very good serve receive there. But that one blocked by the Sage Hens. Another point for the Sage Hens. It is 14-5. Timeout called by Franklin and Marshall as it is looking not so good in this fourth set. Pomona-Pitzer on a 5-0 scoring run. Franklin and Marshall needing to try and piece things together, because at this rate, we are almost certainly going to go to a set 5. And we will be behind schedule for our next game. Which, by the way, our next game, the Southwestern Pirates will be playing Whittier College at 4:45, or they were supposed to play them at 4:45. That one's likely going to be pushed back by a couple minutes now, as we are getting out of the timeout with 20 seconds left on the clock. Sage Hens coming together to break their huddle. Mies will serve us out of the timeout. And big cross-court shot by the Sage Hens. And Pomona-Pitzer has been very dominant in these past 2 sets. Sending that one over is Benson. 15-5, Pomona-Pitzer up by 10. Diplomats needing to catch up here. Another good serve by Mies. Big swing from a new face. Mia Anderson out there for Franklin and Marshall, earning that kill. We're down by 9. A serve from Perez. Swing from Bankowitz. That will be a kill for the Diplomats. 15-7 effective timeout, but they are still down by a lot. It's a lot of work for the Diplomats. Kill for Pomona-Pitzer. 16-7 now, as Pomona-Pitzer brings back Emily Bunnell. She will serve. Doesn't wait for very long after the whistle, and that's going to be an ace for Bunnell, the senior out of Beaverton, Oregon. Smile on her face after that service ace. It is 17-7. Another great serve. Pushover covered by Benson. The tip. More mistakes by Franklin and Marshall. It is 18-7. They are down by 11. And we are wiping the floor once again. Franklin and Marshall, new face now. Paula Elguera, number 18, first year out of Ellicott City, Maryland. And that'll be a kill for Franklin and Marshall, 18-8. Back to serve for Franklin and Marshall is Bankowitz. They'll need some very, very good serves from Bankowitz to try and come back in this one. Point for Pomona-Pitzer. Rough response from Franklin and Marshall there. Arguably their best server being cut off at just one. Karina Benson. And gets an over and out. So service ace for Karina Benson. As Pomona-Pitzer, you can tell by the score, has been very dominant in this fourth set. They were dominant in the third set as well. Karina Marshall tried to make a comeback, but they were done by the time Pomona hit 24. Overhand receive attempt. Schultz sent a down ball. Oh my goodness, Paige Wilson just destroyed that ball. It's amazing that it's still up in the air. Free ball for the Sage Hens. Mies over to Montanos. Cross-court shot gets down, 21-8. Franklin and Marshall has not hit double digits yet. And Pomona-Pitzer is just 4 away from taking set 4 and forcing set 5. Almost another ace. But instead, Benson will set it up for Montanos, who tips it for a kill, 22-8. Next serve from Benson. And that is a great dig by Mies. Swing from Wilson gets dug by Mangum. Point for Pomona-Pitzer, as that one was a very strong shot, but out. 23-8. 5-0 scoring run for the Sage Hens. Tack on a service ace for Benson. 24-8 now. And are we going to wipe the floor again? We are. Yeah, Mangum fell over there. Game point for Pomona-Pitzer. I don't think it is. Yep, that's a point for Pomona-Pitzer. They win set 4, and we will be going 5 sets here in Calgar Gym. Southwestern fans, if you are tuning in a little early, yeah, that game's going to be delayed. Take a break on the Tiger Network as we head into set 5. Get ready, folks. We're in set 5 here in Calgar Gym. And for Pomona-Pitzer, a potential reverse sweep is on the menu. Pomona-Pitzer dropped the first 2 sets, but they have won set 3 and set 4 in very, very convincing fashion to force a lightning set 5. If you're not familiar with the rules of volleyball, set 5 only goes to 15. You'll switch sides when the first team hits 8. Similar looks for both sides. We wait for Benson to enter the court again. Five sets. Very exciting. And they'll be handing the ball off to Emily Bunnell. Set 5 in Calgard. Good communication by the Diplomats. Pushing that one over. Benson hitting that one up for Wilson. Mangum slides into it. So first point goes to Pomona. Next serve by Bunnell. That one handled well by the Diplomats, but too inaccurate of a strike. 2-point lead for Pomona-Pitzer. May not seem like much, but in set 5, it can be quite a bit. And another difficult serve receive for Mangum. Mangiamelli denied, but tooled off the block out of bounds. 2-1, Pomona-Pitzer still leading. Sydney Levens enters the game. Oh, Melissa Bankowitz. Back to serve for the Diplomats. And the back set from Mies to Montano's tie game. So that one doesn't get over the net. 2-2. Bankowitz back to serve again. A lot of good blocking from both teams. 10.5 blocks for Pomona-Pitzer, 6 blocks for Franklin and Marshall. That one received by Bunnell. Big swing from Wilson. A point for Pomona-Pitzer. Look at that on the replay. Just look how fast that one comes in. That's a slowed down replay too. Karina Benson. Good serve. And Levens gets dug by Benson. And that one going off of Mangum. So 4-2, Pomona-Pitzer leading by 2 yet again. Got a lot of success with Benson behind the service line. And Perez over to Levens. That one dug by Mies. Perez over to Levens again. That one is out. So point for Pomona-Pitzer. They're up by 3. Next serve from Benson. And that's going to be an ace. Another service ace for Karina Benson. 6-2 is the score. Timeout called by Franklin and Marshall. You do not want to be down 4 in set 5. As you get a look at the Franklin and Marshall huddle potentially, or maybe not. Ooh. Looking at some of the stats. Pomona-Pitzer hitting 201 while Franklin and Marshall is hitting 108. As the stats now appear on the screen. 12 aces for Pomona-Pitzer, very impressive. Good bounce back. And it's very spread out as well. I have to imagine that this is the season high for Pomona-Pitzer for service aces in a match. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. Sage Hens back on the court. Diplomats taking some more time. They are the ones who are down after all. But no, the Diplomats will break their huddle. And we are back to play some great volleyball in CalGuard Gym. And here we are. Benson with a great serve. Swing from Mangiamelli off of the platform of Benson. So good use of a timeout there, cutting off the 4-0 scoring run that the Sage Hens had. Jada West. The local town student athlete from San Antonio. Now one hit off a blocker. It will be Mangiamelli, absolutely denied. Good aggressive block. Eleanor Nicholson and Samantha Grab back into the match. It is 7-3. And Nicholson serves it into the net immediately. So free point for Franklin and Marshall, and they will get to serve. Maya Anderson and Hannah McCarthy into the game for the Diplomats. McCarthy going back to serve. And McCarthy, surface error there. We will have a brief stoppage in time as we switch sides, as Pomona-Pitzer is the first team to reach 8. Always one of those fun things about set 5, so we get to switch sides in the middle of it. It will be, I believe, Paige Wilson to serve for Pomona-Pitzer. They're more than halfway there to getting that reverse sweep. Just waiting for the go-ahead. Oh, we are wiping the floor off once again. Some hard work being put onto this court today. And the serve from Wilson. Quick set. Bit of a disconnect there, but it's going to be a point for Franklin and Marshall. Meredith Mangum exits the court. Melissa Bankowitz and Coco Schultz re-enter, with Schultz heading back to serve. Serve from Schultz, received by Benson. And that'll be a point for Pomona-Pitzer, as that one will be tooled off of the block. Anna Krebs. I'm sure will be credited with the kill there. Kellen Hayes, another service error. Doing some sloppy serves now from both sides. It is 9-6. Pomona-Pitzer still leading. Meredith Mangum. And big swing from, I believe that was Samantha Grab, and that's going to be a kill. Indeed it was. Grab exits the court on a high note. Pomona-Pitzer hits double digits. They are up by 4. Kylie Mees back to serve. And almost an ace. Big swing from Jada West. The tip over is covered by Mangum, and the setter dump works like a charm. Hannah McCarthy bringing the Diplomats to within 3. Leah Perez back to serve for the Diplomats. Trying to prevent being reverse swept. That one over to Montanos. Paige Montanos with a big kill. It is 11-7, Pomona-Pitzer leading. Emily Bunnell now. Back to serve for the Sage Hens. Perez over to Jada West, having to tip it over. Bit of a high set. Tooled off the block. Another kill for Pomona-Pitzer. Timeout called by Franklin and Marshall. As the Diplomats, Coach Salko, are on the brink of being reverse swept. Only 3 points away for Pomona-Pitzer to take this 5th set. Pomona-Pitzer has done a very, very good job bouncing back in this one. Wanting to head back to Claremont with at least a win. They're 0-2 here in San Antonio. Or 0-3 rather. They've dropped games to MIT, Trinity, and Southwestern. All 3 of those teams have been receiving votes in the latest AVCA poll. Sage Hens back out onto the court. The Diplomats break their huddle as well. Just 3 more points. And Pomona-Pitzer will seal a great comeback victory. The Diplomats need a little bit of luck and a lot of skill. The Sage Hen attack. That one into the net. 4 touches. Paige Montanos too sharp of an angle. Diplomats down by 4. And setter dump attempt covered by the Diplomats. Down ball, dug by Benson. Swing from Wilson is blocked. And now another swing off of one blocker. Levins tools it off the block. It is 12-9. Effective timeout from Franklin and Marshall as they put 2 points on the board out of it with Melissa Bankowitz. 4 service aces today. Trying to make a big impact here in set 5. And a big impact. That is a service ace for Bankowitz. It is 12-10. Timeout called by Pomona-Pitzer as Franklin and Marshall threatening to come back. Conversations being held by both sides. The hitting percentage still remaining pretty low for Franklin and Marshall, 114. Pomona-Pitzer hitting at 201. But the same amount of kills. Way more errors for Franklin and Marshall, though. That's really what's been killing them. Likely what cost them that 3rd set. Could have put this one away and not had to deal with this, but Sage Hens re-enter the court. They break their huddle very early. Despite it being them that called the timeout, Franklin and Marshall and Coach Salko wanting to talk a bit longer. 20 seconds left in the timeout. Sage Hens just waiting. Diplomats break their huddle. Bankowitz will get to serve again. We'll see if the timeout has cooled her off any. And serves that one out. So the timeout was effective. Pomona-Pitzer only 2 away from a great victory. Karina Benson, definitely the person they want behind that service line. She's been so effective. But she's not back there for long as Franklin and Marshall get a waterfall ball. They're still only 2 behind. They still need to make up some points though. Jada West. San Antonio, here's the serve. Knees setting, Wilson, diving dig, and the tip over. Funnel collects it. And point for Franklin and Marshall as Pomona gets called for a double. F&M only 1 point behind. And here goes West serve once again. Mies this time choosing to set Wilson once again. And that one is sent back over. Free ball for the Sagehens. Mies to Hayes. Much too tame. Over to Levens. Big swing, and that one's down. Franklin and Marshall have tied this one in the 5th. It is anybody's game. Great kill. And Franklin and Marshall putting in a pinch server. Miley Sugamura, first year out of Bellevue, Washington. Another timeout called by Pomona-Pitzer. What an exciting match. 13-13. Who knows? We may even need some extra points to finish this one. A lot of things to discuss in both huddles. Sagehens breaking their huddle very early, though. But the Franklin and Marshall fans here are feeling it. And Franklin Marshall putting in that pinch server. We'll see if that is the right decision. Sagehens waiting on the Diplomats. Whistle is blown. So Diplomats break their huddle. Pinch serving for Jada West. Miley Sugamura. Big spot for the first year. And 2 Sagehens run into each other a little bit. And a block by the Diplomats. Almost a joust at the net. But that one is pushed down by the Diplomats. And a solo block! Franklin and Marshall. Match point. Sydney Levens, the senior out of Waxhaw, North Carolina, there to stop that one. And Pomona-Pitzer has come so far. Sugamura's serve handled well. That one doesn't get down. Perez, the center dump. And it'll be a free ball for the Diplomats. And a big swing from Mangiamelli. Handled well by the Sagehens. The tip by Wilson. Mangum over to Levens. Next, Pomona-Pitzer attack. Wilson, good dig by the Diplomats. Big swing, and that will be it. No reverse sweep today as the Diplomats put away the Sagehens in set 5 after coming back down from down 5. A great win by the Diplomats there, with Levens putting that one in the books for the Diplomats. They will head back to Lancaster, Pennsylvania with the 2-1 record over the weekend. What an amazing showing Franklin and Marshall wins this one 3-2. They get a scare from Pomona-Pitzer, who looked unstoppable in set 4, but they put out the fire. That will be the last game for both of these teams here in the Trinity Fall Classic. The next match for the Trinity Fall Classic will start in 30 minutes. It is the Southwestern Pirates versus the Whittier College Poets. Be sure to tune in for that one. Looking into some stats from the game. You see the stats on your screen, some individual stats. Lauren Arnold hitting .538 for Franklin and Marshall, 7 kills on 13 total attempts, 12 kills for Mangiamelli and 10 for Bankowitz, 5 service aces for Bankowitz. Very good day, very good weekend for her from the service line. 12 service aces for the Sage Hens. They did very good as well, but they worked so hard and just fell short. We'll take a break on the Tiger Network. Thank you for joining us. I've been Reed Rosales, and hopefully I will see you in 30 minutes for Southwestern versus Whittier.